Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a concert review for Lord Huron at the Virginia Credit Union live amphitheater in Richmond, Virginia at the Richmond Raceway. Now, viewers of my channel for the last year might remember I've seen one other show with this venue. I saw the Avett Brothers probably about a year ago and had a great time. Same for this show. Amphitheater type venue, you know, it has the roof overhead, not really necessarily an atmosphere, but holds, you know, 5, 6, 7,000 people, I would say, underneath the roof. Really easy venue to get into. Never have any trouble. Coming and going was super easy. No traffic jam. Everything is set up really well, and I couldn't have asked for a better night temperature-wise. It was about 82 degrees Fahrenheit, no humidity, just a gorgeous clear night. Now, Lord Huron have become quickly one of my favorite bands. I went with my wife, and we, had a great time. This is one of those bands that I got into in the COVID years. I really got into their album Strange Trails, which I have right here. This is the big album for them. This is the album that kind of put them on the map with songs like Meet Me in the Woods, Fool for Love, The Night We Met, which has become this huge TikTok song in recent years. Fantastic record. They are currently touring under this album right here. This is called The Cosmic Selector Volume 1. And Ben Schneider, the leader of the band, kind of made a joke that there may be a Volume 2. There will be a Volume 3. I think he was being funny. He says, you know, whatever the universe tells him. But fantastic record. Came out 2025 in July. Funny enough, this is the album the morning of my wedding that I listened to before leaving my apartment, because I received it in the mail. I hadn't listened to it yet, and I wanted to listen to it. So I listened to this the day of my wedding. So kind of cool. Very interesting band. If you don't know Lord Huron, it's really led by a gentleman by the name of Ben Schneider. They're a Los Angeles band. Has a weird kind of mix of different sounds and soundscapes and music. There's definitely some cinematic production to their tunes. There's definitely a element of like Chris Isaak style music. There is a soundtrack almost quality to it, but they've also incorporate elements of rockabilly, a little bit of rock, definitely some indie pop, a little bit of folk, definitely some country influences into it. It's just got this really cool sound to their music. Now, if you're listening to the songs track by track on an album, you'll get a lot more out of it than if you listen to it just kind of picking and choosing songs. And Ben Schneider, last night, I'm filming this on the 20th, they performed June 19th. Ben kind of made a point to say that their music is really meant to be listened to front to back as a record. And I couldn't agree more, especially when you listen to the themes in their music, the different characters that kind of come in and out of so many of their songs. It's really cool. They made sure to touch on every album that they've put out thus far. That is their 5th, I believe. They had Lonesome Dreams, they had Strange Trails, then they had the album Vide Noir, then they had the album Long Lost, which is my personal favorite. I think this is an absolute masterpiece of a record. I can't tell you enough good things about this record. I've done videos talking about this record. It was my favorite record of 2021. Absolutely a stunning record. Long Lost by Lord Huron. The way that the way that the show was set up, so you have the band and you have a screen behind them, which played a big part in a lot of the theatrics of the night. You also had the jukebox from the cover of this record, that jukebox right there, or one that looks a lot like it. So you have that on stage. You have all sorts of instruments. You've got grand piano, pedal steel guitar, drums, stand-up bass, electric bass, guitars, all that stuff that you want to see. And the night opens with a song from this record called Who Laughs Last, which is a kind of a mix of like a spoken word song with a musical chorus. Very bass heavy, really cool. The album has the spoken word part by Kristen Stewart, the actress who was in the Twilight film series. So they're playing the pre-recorded vocals of Kristen Stewart while the band is out there, sans Ben Schneider. And then when Ben Schneider's part comes on, he comes onto the stage. There's a phone booth, like a payphone in the middle of the stage, and he's singing into the phone. And there's a camera inside of the payphone, so he's looking at this camera, which essentially his back is to the audience, but his face is on the screen, talking to this phone with this cool vocal, transmission type sound, like you're talking through a payphone or a megaphone. It had that sound to it. And so they kick the night off doing 3 songs from that album. They do the song, Who Laughs Last. They do the song Looking Back and the song Bag of Bones. So 3 of the 4 first tracks on the record. And then they would come back in the encore and finish with the song, where is it? It All Comes Back. So no, they did 4 songs. They did, out of that album, they sang the songs Looking Back, Bag of Bones, Nothing I Need, and then It All Comes Back. So 4 songs from this record. So how they set it up was fantastic. They started with the new stuff. And, a lot of you might be thinking, like, that's not a good way to get an audience started, but it sets the tone of the tour. They were able to use the jukebox on the stage with lights shining on it and making it look like there are, like, transmissions going out and connection issues with it was just really cool. And then after he finished that song, he played most of the show, standard microphone, guitar. He would use the phone booth a few more times for songs and sing into it and look at that camera, and it came up as black and white on the screen behind him. And there were times where they used the screen. They had like a silhouette of somebody dancing and picking up these weird objects and using the objects to throw, and they would mess up the jukebox. Very cool. But what I thought was so cool was that they started with the new songs, which, as we know, those of us that go to concerts, those are the songs people normally get up and go to the bathroom and go to the merch line for. But to start with the new, you're there, you're excited to see the band. You can knock out 3 songs before people feel like they're getting tired of the new stuff if they have never heard the new record, which obviously by this point is almost a year old. So hopefully they've heard the record. And then he jumps into essentially taking the set in sections by album. So he does a couple of songs from Lonesome Dreams, he does the song like Ends of the Earth, which is fantastic. Then they jump into Vide Noir, so they're saving Strange Trails, which is, again, the big one. They're saving that, and I'll pull it back up, for the end, because this is the album that everybody loves. They just had a 10-year anniversary edition of it. They performed it live during a few shows last year. I think Red Rocks, they performed, sold out 1 or 2 nights there. So they jumped from the new record, then they went to their first record, and then they went to their 3rd record called Vide Noir, which has a little bit more of like fuzz-based instruments. It's a little bit more rockin', a little bit more experimental. And they did the song Ancient Names, which is a fantastic tune. It's a 2-part song. It rocks. It's a great song. And then they come out, and again, this is all happening. There's these sound effects happening on the stage between songs. Ben has mentioned a couple of times from the stage, talking about music, talking about, just enjoy the music. whether that he kind of asked the audience, do you like CDs? Do you like tapes? Do you like records? And they did all this good stuff. And so the audience is, screaming for whatever format they liked. But then they jump into my favorite portion of the night, which is the long lost portion. And they do fantastic songs like Love Me Like You Used To, which is just a fantastic country kind of classic tune. They do the song Long Lost, which is it's just gorgeous. I can't explain how much that song made me feel great. They do the song 20 Long Years, which was a highlight for me. 20 Long Years and Long Lost were highlights for me. They also did the song Not Dead Yet, which is just a fantastic kind of rockabilly type tune. Check any of their songs out, but one of the highlights for me is my favorite Lord Huron song, which is the song called I Lied, which was originally done with Alison Pontier, the piano player, female piano player in the band. She does the duet with Ben on that song, and it is the most tragic. And to those of you that followed my story, I posted the actual song on my YouTube page last night. It is one of the most gut-wrenching songs ever. It's about a couple who, are in it for the long run. They're getting married, and essentially it's about them splitting, saying that all the things that they said were a lie. I mean, just gorgeous music. I can't, let me see. Yeah, so like, for example, one of the lyrics, I made a claim that I would dance until we're bones with my bride. I told you I would never leave you all alone, but I lied. And then another line, I bore a flame that burned 1,000 suns for you, but it died. I told you that I could never love somebody else, but I lied. That's some Tom Waits stuff right there. Though hearing those songs live and the background on the screens had this like Western, like cosmic looking art behind it was just gorgeous. None of my photographs could do any kind of justice for the cinematic pieces behind me. Fantastic. And then they get, after they finish that little segment, they go into the Strange Trails segment where they're doing songs like what is it? La Belle Fleur Sauvage. They do the Meet Me in the Woods, Frozen Pines, The World Ender, and then they finished the main set with The Night We Met, and then again they come out, did a couple of songs from just all the albums, and I'm telling you, it was just such a great time. Again, very, very it's very much music that you need to listen to and have time with, and to listen to the records. It's not music that you want to put on in the background. You really need to listen to it. It's great evening music. It's great early morning, rainy day kind of music. But if you like concept records, if you like art records, check out Lord Huron. I love it, and it was a fantastic night. Did not get any merch. The merch line was incredibly long. We got there. We were actually on vacation in Williamsburg, Virginia, which is about an hour from Richmond. So we drove to Richmond, then went back to Williamsburg. So we got there a little bit later during the opener, and the merch line was just way too long. So I'll try to buy some stuff online. But that does it. Let me know if you were at the show. Let me know if you've listened to the new record, if you know any of those records. Again, I recommend Long Lost. It is top tier music. It is fantastic. So that does it for me, everybody. In the meantime, y'all be good, take care, and we will see you on the next one. Bye now.